Countless Americans are going bankrupt, and it's not because of the credit cards, it's not because of the student loans, and it's not their mortgages. Many Americans have unexpected events that end up putting them over the edge. Too many people consume everything they have, which is a huge mistake for those instances where the events that are unaccounted for occur. This will be a burden shared by many in the near future as conditions worsen. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today we're going to look at why Americans are going bankrupt. It's not what you think. Let's look at several of the issues that have compounded recently. I've done videos about these, and then we're going to get to the major issue. Student loans now exceed $1.5 trillion. Total revolving credit is over $1 trillion. Motor vehicle loans have exceeded $1.1 trillion. Total consumer credit is over $4 trillion at this point. The national debt of the United States has exceeded $22 trillion. And the total public debt as a percentage of the GDP is now over 100%. All of these things, every single one of them, are bad for their own reasons. I've covered many videos on each of these topics. Despite that, this is not the reason why many people today suggest they have gone bankrupt. There's some studies I'm going to show you momentarily that describe the reasons why. So let's get into it. Medical debt is a uniquely American phenomenon, a burden that would be unfathomable in many other developed countries. According to a survey published this month in the American Journal of Public Health, nearly 60% of people who have filed for bankruptcy said a medical expense very much or somewhat contributed to their bankruptcy. Understand what that means. More than half of the people who are going bankrupt say the reason is because of a medical expense. You have to understand how serious that is. That was more than the percentage who cited home foreclosure or student loans. We know that both of these are terrible today. These statistics are looking very bad even at this time when they've gotten a lot better than, let's say, the peak of the financial crisis, housing crisis. This is going to compound as the medical expenses continue to pile up and become more expensive. Over these years, we've seen a few things happen. People are getting more in debt as time goes on. Then they have an unexpected event, which unfortunately does occur, and then they're pushed to the absolute edge. They know that they have this much money to spend every month, and so they budget everything, but nobody's expecting to be in a terrible situation that results in them needing some sort of treatment. They're in the hospital, what have you, and the longer that goes on for, of course, the more expensive it is. Even those with insurance are finding themselves paying a lot more than they thought. I will cover that issue in a moment. This tells us a few things. Number one, the medical system is incredibly expensive. There's no denying that. The second issue is that people are too in debt with their credit cards, with their mortgages, and so on, and that burdens them heavily, so that when this unexpected expense comes in, it throws everything off. Then number three is that we have this problem that is very clear to us: too much debt on all levels, national, corporate, individual, and there is no possible solution that is being provided. Nothing has been done to fix any of this. It's all gotten worse over the years. This is the report right here. If you're interested, you can check it out. The title, Medical Bankruptcy Still Common Despite the Affordable Care Act. All the details are in here. I just wanted to give you the actual source itself. This information is as of March 2019, so we're getting recent stats for this one here. If you want some more detail, this one's back from the end of 2014. Consumer Credit Reports, a study of medical and non-medical collections. This was a massive one if you want to check it out. In a nationwide survey of more than 2,000 people conducted by Consumer Reports, nearly 1/3 of privately insured people say they had received a surprise medical bill in which their insurer had paid less than they expected. This is what we're getting down to right now. Because yes, you can have insurance and have a set fee. Okay, I'm covered because I pay this. Suddenly, they're getting this unexpected payment that needs to be made because of this event. They weren't expecting it. All of a sudden, it sideswipes them, and now they are heavily in debt as a result. So check this out. When people have an episode like this, they think and hope it's a one-off kind of thing. But unfortunately, this is not the exception, it's the rule. It's what most people do experience. They might try to do their due diligence, but even then, it doesn't remove the possibility of something like this happening. If you haven't saved up a tremendous amount of money, something like this could take out even those who had been comfortable for decades. They thought everything was fine. The household, they both kept their jobs. Everything was good. You didn't have any issues. You didn't have the ups and downs. And then suddenly something knocks you off your feet, and this has been a heavy burden on so many people, and it's only gotten worse as the years have gone on. You know, there's a lot more in this if you want to read about it, but I've made myself clear. We can see that there is this excessive level of debt, whether it's student loans, credit cards, auto loans, personal line of credit, home equity line of credit, all of these different products that have been created. Regardless, we know that people in the United States and basically everywhere around the world have pushed themselves to the absolute edge. As long as they are employed, as long as there are no unexpected events, everything's going to be fine. We know that. But if companies start to lay people off, if the things start turning sour, then all of this is going to change. Hopefully people do their best to protect themselves, to protect their families by being able to sidestep all of this, by not having this debt in the first place. This is the biggest issue that too many people face, and it is quite unfortunate because I hear about it all the time. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. When you put a like on this video, you are supporting this channel and the content that I provide, so I do appreciate that very much. Last but not least, if you want the financial education you weren't taught in school, these two books have everything you need. I talk a lot about debt in here of all forms, the foundation, the history, the asset classes, how to make money, and so much more. Check that out at the link in the description. If you want the audiobook, that's available at themoneygps.com. If you want to see this video about debt, it really gets into it. It breaks it all down. Check it out. If you click on it, I will see you there.